We are live.
Yes, that's right. We've got another episode. Join in the fight. You are live here for another phenomenal installment of Cardboard Conversations. And the crowd goes wild. What's going on, fellas?
Well, remember, this is Father's Day edition Cardboard Conversations. This is the new shirt I got for Father's Day. Got it a little early to show it off on the show here.
I'm glad you
the
reminded
noble
me.
element.
Yeah. Means there's going to be a chicken barbecue down the street tomorrow.
It is tomorrow, but, you know, this is the closest we get with our show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Speaking about close, this was the week of...
It's the week of Final Fantasy. Yeah, that's right. It's full street release.
Not just the week of Final Fantasy, but the week of...
Colossus Hammer? I don't know what you're doing here.
The Secret Lair drop, guys.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
There was a lot of buzz about it, with people being pissed off again, just like with the Marvel and not being able to get it. And unlike the SpongeBob, it doesn't appear like it came back out again. So
right. Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't too invested into purchasing more Final Fantasy product because man, I heard that was yet again more shenanigans, waiting in line that didn't really exist. And just in general, a huge bevy of product, honestly, a real onslaught of new product just coming out online only. So you got to say, for me, I missed a bullet on that one. Were you looking to get more of it, Bob? Was that part of the experience you had?
All right. So I'm going to go through the experience that I had. So I really wanted to get some of it, especially mainly for what you see behind me. I just love that artwork on that Colossus Hammer.
I mean, yeah, really hashtag not bad.
And you know, Final Fantasy is obviously my jam. I'm more into this. You guys should be excited about that. I am more engaged with Final Fantasy than I have been with any Magic set in, well, can you guys recall a time I was more involved in a Magic set?
No, I think if anything, this is definitely more excite mode for Bob than I think even for Lord of the Rings was, and I know that's definitely right up your alley.
Yeah, and so I went the route of seeing, okay, how do these people cheat the line, jump the line, skip the line, do all that jazz? And so I did the, 10 minutes before,
put a product in your
an cart, old product in my cart. I did that, and right at the top of the hour, it booted me out of the buying section where the cart was. And when I put the Final Fantasy product in the cart, it put me in the queue. Now, I had thought, I'm going to hedge my bets. So what we did is I got Miss Sherry to log in as well on her computer to try to get it. And I figured, we'd have plenty of time to cancel.
Smart.
And indeed, she got in like within 30 minutes. I think it was 32 minutes. She got through the queue. I was still waiting more than an hour.
What's kind of ridiculous is even dealing with the bullshit that Ticketmaster does, I can buy stuff in like 4 minutes. It is just kind of wild that there's still like a waiting line to check out. Like I cannot imagine.
The saga's not over yet.
So
I waited.
How was this
for 3 hours in the queue?
Jesus Christ! Like,
hold on, it gets much better. So she did get 3 of the full English bundles, so I did get them. But I just wanted to see, just in case, to kind of share my user experience here tonight. So I waited through that queue while I'm working, and I actually even opened up a second queue right after I got the first one. I'm like, I'm going to triple hedge my bets. Both queues were over 3 hours. And then as soon as both of them popped, and all the product was already updating, sold out. It got me into the queue to buy, and it goes, your session is timed out. And it kicks me right back to the welcome page. So I had to start my queue over again. Of course, I didn't at that point. And it did it on both of the sessions I had open. Different, not only just different tabs, but different browsers. I did it in Chrome and I did it in Edge. And yeah, both of them did the same thing. So it is so random. And I even tried the cheat code. So the cheat code was on the Chrome browser, and with the cart, the order in the cart, and then I did it without, just regular in the Microsoft Edge browser. And I'm telling you, I watched DJ live, he got Bupkis. I watched Jake live, he got Bupkis. There was somebody else.
Who's Bupkis?
Huh?
Who's Bupkis?
Ha!
Got nothing. So it was the common experience, even from those that we can see online, that just waited. And you could see in all the chats scrolling by, yeah, I got nothing. And the random person would get something. So if people are still cheat coding into it, it didn't work for me following the steps with putting an item in your cart. As soon as I did the Final Fantasy, it goes, nope, you're out of there. So
well, that's a bummer, Matt.
It was not a great experience yet again.
Were you trying to get any part of that Final Fantasy Secret Layers, Matt? Was that something you were aiming for, chomping at the bit?
I'll be honest, I didn't even know they existed. Like I knew we were getting Secret Layers, but I didn't know the date. I don't know. I spent over $3,000 in the Final Fantasy. I'm good. I'm okay missing out on Secret Layers.
Yeah, I've spent an absurd amount at this point on Final Fantasy. I even totaled it up, and it was even more than I expected.
Oh dear!
I spent exactly what I thought I would spend. I just thought I'd get more product, to be honest.
I just opened up tracking for my TCG player order. My play boxes, was looking to see where they're at. Scariest shit I've ever seen, and it feels like a recurring nightmare at this point. Alert: severe weather and flooding is moving through Texas and southern central.
We had flooding warnings yesterday. Like, oh no!
I have about 3/4 of the monetary value and about 2/3 of the product already on hand.
Oh, that's good though.
I think I have all my product.
I did get most of the collector boxes I ordered, because I didn't get the full case from my LGS, my local LGS store.
Yeah, right.
But speaking of which, we're going to have that gentleman on our show on the 28th. We have the date locked in. So for those of you that want to get it straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak, and hear from a premier WPN store about all things to do with distribution, and I'd like to ask him about games and just the general owning an LGS, because he has been in business as an LGS for 33 years. That is an awful long time to be in the gaming industry. So he's got a lot of good information and a different perspective from a pure gaming perspective and game store perspective. And he can strip away some of the veneer of what we always think LGSs know and do. So I had a couple of pretty long conversations with him in store, and I've talked to him before, and I've asked their store before about information. I pry information out of the workers there as well. But he'll be on the show, and I encourage everybody to get their questions together. Anything that you want to know about the retail end of selling Magic cards from an LGS, and keep it respectful. Ask them on the 28th.
Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with your friends, and if you'd like, consider being a channel member. For just 99 cents a month, you can join some of our after the show shows. Just listen to three guys talk about some more things for another hour or so.
Yeah, and tonight I will be cracking more product. That's right. I will be doing my box break for our Commander Raids box break builds. I'm just going to curse it already and say that I'm really hoping for a lightning in this box. That's
I'm hoping really for Tifas. I want a handful of them. God, I want enough to just plaster my whole bathroom with them. Yeah.
No, that's what I'm. What
up,
I'm praying for that kind of a thing. So, Prime, good to see you around again here, buddy. Love you too.
You've been well,
Cherry Vegas.
What up, Prime?
So, Time Capsule, good to see you in the audience, sir, as always. And seriously, spread the word. Show up on the 28th. ask, legit questions that you really want to know from an LGS. Keep it respectful. And maybe we can all learn something from him. He's a good dude.
Heck yeah, looking forward to it.
What I'm not looking forward to, I'm kind of hesitant about this play box tonight. So y'all can watch it for 99 cents a month. You can watch me get punched in the gut yet once again. It's been kind of brutal for my opening so far. I definitely do not have the same luck nor anywhere near I did with the Khans of Tarkir box.
Dragons?
I'm sorry. Dragons of Tarkir Dragonstorm. Wow.
Khans of Tarkir Dragonstorm.
It's what happens when you get old, folks. It's all
I've watched a couple openings of boxes and they've all been bad. So I'm just like, we're just gonna get just wrecked. There's no way.
It's
basically a standard kind of lottery. You have to select, you have to pull the best, and if you don't, you get like absolutely wrecked. Now, I will say that's at the MSRP price or what the price actually that they're going for right now. If you're looking at like what we paid for them, it's going to be a lot easier because I only paid $140 for mine.
My camera's good.
Yeah, even at the 150, which is what I paid, not good, folks. Not good.
They're 190 right now.
Perfect for my purposes. I'm going to open one box and make a deck out of it. So better or worse, it's gonna happen.
That's I'm more looking forward to this box for that very reason. That no matter what, so long as I get a reasonable commander, it should be pretty good. Have you guys played any arena on this so far? I was wrong. I was very wrong.
Oh,
it's fast. But it seems like it's fast if you play Chocobos.
Yeah. I mean,
I've watched turn 3 wins with Tifa and the Chocobo, Traveling Chocobo. They just play Tifa, then the Chocobo, then they play Fabled Pastures, and then win. It's like, oh, okay.
Bazinga.
Swing for 32. Yep, that seems pretty good.
I was pretty confident that thing would be, a solid card. And she's hot, so like it helps. 100%.
She's got trample. She's pretty bad actually overall. Like I don't know, she's got no protection. It's a good strategy, but if you have no removal, it's definitely a check. It's like you got removal. No, all right, you're dead. Now, granted, they do run protection as well. It's just a lot harder to do very quickly.
And I'll say the Buster Sword has also done righteous for me so far.
Yeah, right.
On arena, yeah, that actually works. Huh?
Sword's so bad.
Oh, come on! It's done you pretty righteous as well, though, Matt.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I opened a Buster Sword in my pre-release kit, and I just sold it for $50. Even though, granted, now, I mean, am I getting oil checked? Because the last time I checked, it was 200 something. So let's see if that's calmed down a bit. Is Buster Sword one word? Yeah, 2 words.
See if the shenanigans have played themselves out.
Well, market price is $50, but people are like buying them out and relisting them. They're up to $99. But I really feel like that's like it's not real. Are the people actually buying it? High sell price $90, low sell price $44. No, nobody's bought it for over $53. So they're just scalping it. I did think about
the pre-release copy. Is that the
pre-release
copy or the base copy?
Just the pre-release copy. That's the one I had. I did think about it. It's kind of like a serialized Buster Sword, so I maybe should have held on to it, but I don't know. The way I saw it is it paid for my pre-release kit, so happy days. And I assume that everything goes down after pre-release prices.
It'll depend. I mean, things are going to be in flux for 3 months.
Yeah.
Something that does not seem to have been going down is this freaking chart for the Final Fantasy gift bundle. This is just been absolutely
different, though. This is different than all the rest of the products so far.
Yeah,
because this one,
collectors.
No, people don't have this one in hand yet.
I'll say it's not even released yet. I don't know why people are doing this.
So this price, what's more interesting are the collector boxes. That is an interesting graph. This one's not interesting because it's not in people's hands yet. We'll see what happens to it once the So this, no, something's not right there. That might be it. This on release. So if you look at the chart, just zoom in. Like, don't go to 1 year. Go to like one. Is that 1 month?
Go to
Yes,
one
sir.
day.
Yeah, right.
You'll see that that's not release day. If you go back a little bit, there was a giant drop off, right? Like,
yeah, right here.
Boom. Then pre-release hit, and oh shit, it fell off a cliff because people got it in their hands. But man, that's got to be one of the fastest recoveries I've seen.
Yeah, it's about $50. That right there. Yep.
Yeah, and then like the next day, boom,
right back up, even higher than it was before.
Then it dropped off again, and so I think you're going to see some of this volatility. But I don't get it. I don't understand. Rudy might be right.
As far as his prediction that this was the release dip that we often see.
No, that it's going to be $1,000 box soon.
Oh, I mean, even further on in a recent video he had put out, he was
saying
doing
$2,000
speculation, saying 2
years.
to 3 years it'll be $1,500, $2,000 for this box.
Yeah,
which, I mean, honestly, looking at how people have reacted to it since it's inception, since they first premiered it, and now after it's been delivered to most folks, yeah, it's only going to be more rare pretty much going forward from here on out. So it would be hard pressed to go down.
Well, and people are ripping it at an astounding pace to me for the cost.
Yeah. I mean, for the price of this stuff too, that's what blows my fucking mind. Like, I mean, what was it? Joey Moss was saying he went through like $35,000 worth of product or some shit. It's like, yeah, I understand that that's probably a store's like finance that they're turning singles over on the internet or whatever. So it's not really his money, but still, that's an insane amount of money just to rip wrappers on this stuff.
Well, and Lance, he's opened an insane amount.
Oh God, I can.
I've heard something like 12 master cases or something.
It's a good thing those losses are being passed on to the viewers.
Yeah, right.
Not here, not on our channel. We don't do that nonsense. We don't do that shit.
What we're trying to do is we're trying to get you guys a good deal. Pat and I in the background were discussing. I mean, I don't buy my boxes from Alpha Investments every month, and realistically, I probably should, and then I could maybe sell them to the viewers, or I should say channel members, not just viewers. If that's something you guys are interested in, make a comment on the video and we'll try to work something out. It would be at a discount to you and us, or well, I should say to you, and we would likely not make any money, but at least I would want to break even at the very least. I don't want to lose money. But if I can pass on my subscription, like I'm paying the monthly fees just to have access to the deals, but I don't use them all the time. So we have to figure out the tax implications and stuff like that. But either way, that's something that we're working on in the background.
Yeah, I mean, but that just goes to show the intent is not to make money off you.
Right. Yeah, at the end of that, this isn't a business. I guess if at one point, if ever becomes a business, then it would be slightly different, I guess. I still wouldn't want to super profit, but that's one of the questions I want to ask one of the LGS owner on is like, when you build a rapport with these people that come to your store every day, how do you balance needing to make money to make keep the lights on, and also to not even just keep the lights on, to be profitable at the end of the day? You want to be able to pay off your house and make money. That's the whole point of having a store, or most of the point of having a store is to make money. It gets difficult when you start building a rapport with people and you're like, okay, well, my cost for the box was, we'll say for a Final Fantasy collectors, it's like what, $500 or maybe even less. How do you justify paying or spending or charging that much money over MSRP or whatever? So one of those, it'll be interesting to see how he responds.
And the idea
definitely
of
be a touchy touch.
When is enough as far as profiting goes? I mean, there are more than a few stories, and I've definitely seen this a couple of times where pre-orders through a store, the price of the box keeps going up, pre-orders gets canceled, and boom, suddenly they're sold online from that store. I would not be surprised that some people are unscrupulous sellers like that. So there's definitely that fine line of ethicalness that comes in capitalism. Like where would you, what would you do, DJ? You seem here like you want to give out some advice. What is your profit margin? If you buy a box for $100 and it typically sells for $150, is $150 what you should sell it for? Or should you take the 125, be the cool guy and still get your percent?
Yeah, that's another thing you could also look into, like as a store, is like driving people to your store is difficult, acquiring customers. So if you happen to have a reputation of selling them at a reasonable price, perhaps that outweighs, because they're going to buy other things when they're there, hopefully. That kind of whole situation could be a factor.
Hey, my camera's working again for a few minutes.
A lot of this we should just save for when he's here.
Sure.
Be respectful.
Don't try to paint him
into a corner. But we can, even if he doesn't give us answers we like, we can get information that we may not otherwise be privy to. And rather,
at the end of the day, it's just his opinion, anyways. Like he's not going to have the de facto answer.
It's not as much an opinion as it is his experience, right? And he's very experienced, so he's been able to keep doing it for 33 years. So, and he's one of the largest stores, not footprint wise, because that's got to be Sweets and Geeks, but it's like 85% Funko Pops.
So DJ's thinking go for the everyday low price, do the Walmart Costco model, get more customers in, have a higher turnover, but a lower profit rate. It makes enough sense. Well, I mean, that's what Rudy does. And he seems to be, wholesale. And,
First of all, there's lots of things to address here with this statement. Number one, fair and overcharge are subjective terms. Right. And none of us know the numbers until you actually run the numbers. And we don't run the numbers because we don't know the numbers. We don't know the different prices. We don't know what it is.
Person, yeah.
And you can't look at it from the perspective of, no offense, a Timmy Magic player that just wants product cheap, right? You can't have that and then have a store stay running. He's got 4 or 5 employees that he's got to employ. He's got 10,000 square foot of game store space for people to play, for products to sit on the shelves. And I'm going to tell you right now, that is not cheap to rent commercial property to keep all that stuff running every single day, 24 hours a day, not just when you got your release products. So there's a lot to consider there. And if you even listen to Rudy, he tells you it's a fool's game. He doesn't even have a physical store anymore. So, it's one of those things. It's not just a fair price for customers to drag them in, but what are you willing to pay as a customer to have a place where you can go play Friday Night Magic or pre-release tournaments? Right. That's a fair question to kind of turn around and ask. Not defending the guy, but I'm just saying, you have to take all of these things into consideration. And then people break chairs. Yeah. People's fat asses break chairs, and he's got to pay to have the trash dealt with, and all this kind of stuff. So, it's not just costs, but they have to run a business, or you have no place to complain about.
Oh, Pat, did the TCG simulator, did that have any cost for people breaking stuff? Was that like
no? But there are stinky customers. That's
I know about stinky customers. I thought that was ridiculous, but I mean, it makes sense. Well,
it's another very real thing is they also have to account for theft and loss.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Theft.
Yeah, I think that would be an interesting type of addition. Not just degradation of materials, which is definitely a huge thing. All of your play space. Like you said, stuff breaking down. That's absolutely a real thing. My fat ass coming in sitting on stuff, that's going to make things a lot worse. And then on top of that, you got some sticky fingered folks coming in. Those packs fit in pockets real well if you don't put them in a smart spot. So security
behind the counter. Yeah.
To Bob's point about not just the type of location, type of property, but where it's located as well. Commercial theft is a huge issue. The few times where I've looked at LGS down in Connecticut, they got bars on the windows. They're built like bomb bunkers. They don't want anybody coming in or out except through the front door when they allow it.
Well, and you have plumbing costs, heating and cooling costs. You've got just even ancillary equipment, like when you go in an LGS and you're expecting to get the pairings and whatnot and see them up on televisions that are posted in the corners for you to be able to get to your next pairing, et cetera, all that kind of stuff factors in, right? So I get it, and I honestly, I think the onus should fall on WotC to help those, because WotC needs those places. It really does.
I mean, they got Amazon. They don't need nothing.
Okay, and then who's going to play in the tournaments? Who's going to bring the new blood in?
Amazon.
Sure.
Netflix cartoons. That's what brings people in nowadays.
So it's it's a complicated thing. It's I think it's never going to be a solved question to answer.
It is a joke if the viewers didn't pick that up.
WotC. The problem is that WotC doesn't find it funny, and they're pretty much telling the LGS, you're on your own and don't do much for them.
Yeah, I don't actually. That'd be another question I have is like, what kind of support does WotC give in general?
Virtually none. You get to buy our product is what WotC gives them.
Yeah, well, I mean, they give you access to the cost at a lower cost. That's definitely something.
Well, and a little bit of prize support, Friday Night Magic, if you're part of an organized league, but that's not much at all. I mean, honestly, I don't even think that you might get some packs along with it, but honestly, I don't believe that. From the few, I watch 2 YouTube channels that are store owners, and they're very open about the type of stuff they get and all that kind of thing. Phenomenal shout out to Gone Rogue Games and Millennium Gaming as well. But for all the prize support for other games, like One Piece, I think it was maybe the size of like it couldn't have been more than 50 cards, like everything all together for an entire tournament's prize support. And if that's the type of thing that they would get through WotC, I mean, realistically, what do you get for Friday Night Magic? A couple of door prizes, so some singles. Okay, cool. Let's call it 20 cards. Be real freaking generous, right? On top of that, you get some packs for winning. They might just try and subsidize the cost out of inventory. So what you actually get for things from the company as far as support is probably less and less than it's ever been.
Well, I just want to remind you guys, and we're going too far down the rabbit hole, in my opinion, that this is for the show 2 weeks from now.
I mean, this is all speculation. Somebody write that down. Somebody should really write these questions down.
If only this was a live broadcast that I could just watch again, or have AI give me like these talking points.
A synopsis. Yeah.
It would actually be pretty cool. Like, hey, listen to my video and have it take notes on the hot topics of the video. That'd be a nice little feature of AI.
I think more relevant for this week's discussions is actually, how is Final Fantasy doing? And I keep looking at the numbers on TCG Player, and I am still surprised at the sell-through rate. It is still very high.
Oh, there was actually one piece of data that kind of backs it up as well. It has, well, kind of. Magic Arena had the highest player count by far in history, and I think they the only really numbers we have to go off of is Steam numbers, because that's the only one that displays numbers. I don't think there's anything that displays the numbers for actual, like, the client itself, which is what I use. But Steam client went from, I think the highest they ever had was 12,000, and it went over to 17,000. So that's a pretty large increase. I would be curious to know how many people keep with Magic from playing from this.
You mean from Final Fantasy?
Yeah, like I wonder how many. Like what is it? I don't know the turnover rate. I don't know if that's the right. The retention rate of people that play Final Fantasy that are introduced into Magic. I wonder how many people will stick with Magic because of Final Fantasy.
First of all,
at the end of the day, that's what they want.
We're never going to get those numbers from anybody.
No.
I don't even think we could have.
That's why I say I wonder. It's never going to happen, but I wonder.
The best example would be the people that came in for Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, but we don't have numbers for that either, so we don't have any hardcore answers for that.
I wonder, like the Lord of the Rings fans, most of the people I know in like the geekdom nerd culture, right? There's a huge amount of like crossover. I mean, for me, Fallout, that was like a huge thing, and with the Spider-Man set coming up, like that really gets me. So those two different IPs, they share something with Magic. So I could definitely see Lord of the Rings and Final Fantasy weebs having a lot of like crossover here, and there's not a huge gap between these sets either. I mean, most Magic the Gathering players stick around for something like 2 to 3 years. So this is actually like a great capture spot for those possible Magic players longer term.
Oh, this is definitely the longest I've stayed in Magic because of Commander. It is the sole purpose. It is the sole reason that I've stayed in Magic as long. Because I mean, like,
you need
I
to
used to
not
go to
just be
FNM.
Bob. We're not the reason you stick around.
I mean, you guys are partially the reason. Obviously, having a channel that's centric around TCG is definitely a factor.
Yeah, I wonder how much.
Sherry, that's actually a great point. I wonder if the Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy set has done better than Final Fantasy trading card.
Oh, 100%, easily.
Okay, like,
well, I mean, if you go to just go to TCG alone and just look at the sell-through rate. Like, actually, that isn't one thing I've looked at in a while. How many play boxes have sold? I think we were up to what 9,000 when they did their like flash sale. Let's see how much has sold since then. 19,289.
100.
That's to put it in perspective, I think the previous best set was Tarkir Dragonstorm, and that was
Lord of the Rings.
No, Tarkir Dragonstorm stomped the shit out of Lord of the Rings. As far as play box is considered.
Well, they've had a lot of sets. It looks like for the Final Fantasy.
Lord of the Rings didn't have a play box.
Yeah, Tarkir Dragonstorm was 15,000. So
how many Lord of the Rings set and draft boxes sold?
That booster box, the farthest I can go back is a year, 2,300.
Well, that's not even close to release.
I know. I have to say the farthest I can go back is a year. That's the only data that I have.
Okay, some of these boxes do get pretty cheap. Yu-Gi-Oh prices.
Welcome, Savion Council. Do I think kids are being exploited by gaming companies? It depends on what you mean by exploited.
Right? Like, that's the tricky thing. Yeah.
Are they trying to do their best to sell products to the best of their ability to make money for their company? Understand, every gaming company, you have to really focus on that word company. They're in business to make money. Now, when you say selling to children don't generally have income, so they're selling to the parents of children.
They're selling the want to kids, but they're getting the money.
If adults are making shitty decisions with their money, I kind of don't care. It's like, you're an adult. Get good, scrub.
I mean, if anything, I would say that cereal companies exploit children more than Magic the Gathering and Pokemon do,
because
they get them hooked on sugar and just like all the bright colors and stuff, and like absolutely not. Cereal is literally just dessert,
but it's the parents
all the
that need
things that like are dessert.
The parents need to gatekeep that shit. That's not anybody else's responsibility but the parents. And if the parents aren't
right, and I mean, same deal.
What the kids are doing,
definitely are not buying their own food by any fucking chance.
Well, they're not buying their own toys either.
Yeah.
So, are they exploiting children? Not unless they're having them staple their hands together in the factories.
Yeah. Apple is probably,
Well, I'm getting that from Grand Theft Auto. I want to say 4, with those. You know, did you ever play Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and when you're driving around in the car, you have those really absurd commercials.
Dude, I love the radio stations in GTA games.
And they were interviewing children laborers, and obviously, it's like, my friend Timmy sewed his hands together.
Yeah,
Laszlo. It was funny. So that would be exploiting child labor. But do I feel that they're exploiting children? No, not at all.
Who is they in this situation?
Gaming companies.
Yeah.
Oh, just gaming companies in general. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't believe so. No.
I mean, technically, yes, but by design. It's by design.
How are they exploiting children? Explain that.
they're trying to. I mean, they use market research to build a product to make kids feel like they need to have it.
Okay. Are the kids
It's
buying
not a bad
that?
way of exploitation. It's just exploitation.
No, what I'm saying, it's not really exploitation of children because it's not the children buying
Well,
it.
not of children. I guess.
So who are they exploiting then? Dumb parents?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If you
Or
think gaming
parents,
companies are exploiting dumb parents, 100%. And they should.
That's kind of the whole purpose of their existence.
Exploitation, one, the act or fact of treating someone unfairly in order to benefit from their work, or
No,
two,
it's not
the action
unfairly.
of making use and benefiting from resources. Jesus Christ. So in the Bronze Age, we exploited copper mines, shit like that. So
So,
like depending
yeah,
on how you want to
no.
utilize that word, because one has a very different intonation than the other. Like, we're not exploiting kids like a resource like that. If anything, I mean, it's a capitalist society. You're buying shit, you're selling stuff. Things cost money. And honestly, if you want to beat out the competition, you better be doing that market research. That's one of the reasons why we work so freaking hard on these thumbnails. I wouldn't do it because it's funsies. I do it because it gets stuff clickable, you know?
Well,
I don't give two flips about the actual what the thumbnail looks like or the tags that are on the video, but it's all a requirement for.
Oh, God damn it, man.
being in the
Tags. Definitely did not have tags for this one.
Nice.
So there's an old adage.
we have some
because-
tags, right?
Because I'm old, and that's a fool and his money are soon parted. So you get X amount of dollars if you want to spend it on games because your kids are bugging you, and you can't afford it. No, okay, you got exploited.
Right. The electric babysitter, isn't that
But
what they
it-
used to call TV?
It's I think it's far more exploitative of Magic to clearly take a direction where it's become a gambling addiction to open packs. They put serialized cards in there for that reason. That you can only get to chase items. It's the same thing functionally, but you can only get to chase items in the super most pooper expensive pack. Oh, and they're very, very rare. So, but once in a while, you hit a fantastically expensive card, and they're playing into it. They don't control the secondary market directly, but indirectly they sure do. And
what would happen?
They exploit that for sure.
What are your thoughts on this, Bob? Just wild speculation. You probably got more tuned in on this than I am. What if Hasbro tried to buy TCG Player / eBay? Would that shit be allowed? Like, can you buy
You're
your
talking
own...
about like conflict of interest?
Yeah, is that
It would be a conflict of interest, but I don't think it'd be a monopoly. I don't see why they wouldn't be able. Well, I wonder if there's a law against
eBay was able to buy TCG.
I think it would be more exploitative of them, or it would be more conflict of interest if they were to buy a card grading company where they could grade their own cards fantastic and
for sure
give everybody else's cards, Pokemon cards, shit.
Somehow only the flat ones come out through their company. Yeah. If you buy it through our super duper extra special pre-grading service, you can get ones we give a fuck about.
But as far as just like a reselling platform, no, I don't think so. But I mean, to an extent, maybe, because the more expensive a card is, the higher fees they get back for it because it's percentage based.
Yep.
But then there's a threshold. When it gets too high, cards just don't move.
Yeah, speaking of, we're seeing an absolute stale out of that Golden Chocobo listing. It went from 200K to 150 and is now 75K. So
that's where I thought it should live, is about 75.
And
it's getting to a reasonable price. Look at that.
One of Josh's friends, George from the May the Zoo Be With You podcast, standing offer of 20K for a Golden Chocobo. So that's going to be pretty much our bare minimum floor is 20K.
Well, something that doesn't make sense there's a Lord of the Rings serialized poster card. That has 100 copies, and its going price is $65,000.
I'll be honest though; those are real trippy looking. Like art wise,
they might be trippy looking, but as far as rarity, they're less rare than the Golden Chocobos.
Yeah, I think that's right now. It's one of those things where people are kind of holding out probably and waiting to see what happens.
Look,
I think if you just
until you have more data, there's no price of the Golden Chocobo.
Right.
Until one gets purchased, that sets the price. Welcome to the secondary market, folks.
Kind of. I mean, we do have every other serialized product that's come out as a basis of like starting bids.
If you base it off that, and that's you can't, because you can't say that the card is as playable as the Lord of the Rings. You can't say it's as desirable to whomever. And you know what this card's worth? This art card, it's worth exactly what somebody's willing to pay for it. And the same thing with the serialized cards. Is that they'll be worth what somebody pays for it. So the first person that buys it will establish that price basis.
It is an interesting situation we have going on here, just in general. You know, from kind of the sidelines, like it's all pretty damn funny with how like wild the market is and everything like that. Just where the country is right now, how right on the precipice of like generalized AI, how we're seeing like such a huge leap in robotics possibly going to people's houses. Okay, right, for $75,000, instead of buying that golden chocobo, I could have a fucking robot, like an actual one that walks around my house and like does stuff. I can talk to it, I can teach it to like do my
Aren't they only like $5,000 though? I thought they were a lot cheaper.
Bro, like that's what I'm talking about, what money is actually worth. Like I don't know who the buyer is for something like a Magic card that's worth this much money speculatively, right?
People that have too much money.
Well, yeah, like this is just a wild ass people, some Post Malone looking motherfuckers. Like honestly, it's
and there's a surprising number of those folks out there.
God.
Look, people open,
cheers to them. Like they help the world go around and the markets move.
Open Booster opened a $500,000 box of beta.
That's
okay. People do it.
Yeah, no, like,
and that means they have the disposable income to do that.
If I had 10 times the money I make every year,
with my kid, I'd slap those tattoos right off his face.
Bob is Post Malone's dad. You know, age wise, like there's got to be. I see a little bit when he grows his beard in.
Yeah, I'd slap those tats right off his face if he was my kid.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of face tats.
No, it's definitely a big drawback.
He seems like a very nice guy, but obviously dumb as a host.
That's why his name's Post Malone.
Watching him on the Joe Rogan podcast was very interesting. They just got super lit up and then talked for like 4 hours, and it was exactly what you think.
No way.
Yeah. Oh, dude, he crushes like 12 beers and most of a pack of cigarettes. I mean, champion, like legitimately kind of just Friday night hanging out with your boys kind of attitude.
I was gonna say I'd go to FNN with him. I'd go to.
Like I said, he seems like a really decent guy.
Affable. Yeah.
I can't tell you. I couldn't even name a song he's sung. I think I know. Actually, well, do I? I know of a cover of one of his songs that I like. I don't like the original. I don't like his version. I like the cover of it.
But again, it's not bagging on Post Malone, and a lot of people point to him simply out of his popularity. He's not anybody I'm interested in personally, but I also hold no truck with him, and I'm glad he bought the 1-of-1 ring to generate some buzz for Magic at a high price. Yeah, I think it's good for the game. I think it's good for the collectability. But getting back to the original question that DJ answered, if we're getting very specific about games, I think that it's far more exploitative of WotC. It feels like they're deliberately targeting the gambler's addiction for people. That's
I mean, hell, even Secret Lairs gambling because you're just, can you get it or not?
Well,
okay, that's the Japanese style of buying anything expensive.
That's just like shitty logistics, is what that is. Yeah. That's just terrible operations and logistics.
I honestly just
absurd.
It boggles my mind that they actually have such an issue with electronic queuing and like the purchasing side of it. It's something that like I've been dealing with for years with the modernization projects that I've been on, but like It is antiquated as shit. Like they must be running on like fucking punch cards or something back there.
You know what they should do if they were smart?
Don't host it on Cloudflare.
Host it on their arena site.
Yeah, right.
It's probably
Drive
cheaper.
installs.
It's probably cheaper for them not to, I guess.
Well, they don't even ship the products, right? That's all done through the site and the product. They just mail it over to they just make the product and send it over to ScaleFast, and ScaleFast manages all of that.
Yeah.
The credit card transactions, the buying queue, the shipping. So I'm not a huge fan. I wouldn't recommend ScaleFast. You know, and you never hear anybody say that. They always say WotC in their shitty site. In reality, it's ScaleFast site.
Yeah.
It's ScaleFast issues.
Yeah.
It's scaled slow.
At the end of the day, I'm sure that they are being told how to handle things from WotC.
I'll guarantee
I still
you,
think it's on WotC
does not want people to wait in queue for 3 or 4 hours. I'll guarantee you they don't.
I bet you a lot of that has to do with scalper
because
bots.
WotC is the one that has to answer for ScaleFast slow queuing system, and then getting booted.
I don't think it's WotC's fault. I don't think it's ScaleFast's fault in this situation. I bet you it's a bunch of scalper bots flooding the lines.
And whose fault is that for allowing scalper bots to come on in?
I don't know.
That actually, good point though. That might be part of it. Is with the speed of bots, it pushes it pushes software so hard because it's trying to complete an action, right?
They could flood. They could flood that line with hundreds of thousands of people, like easily, just with like the click of a button.
And you know what what ScaleFast could do in that first? Because I'll guarantee the bots hit in the first minute. Is watch the first 5 minutes, grab all the IPs, and when you have 100,000 coming from a single IP, blacklist it, drop the queue, start it over again.
That's kind of what Rudy did with his Final Fantasy. He said if you post on a comment too fast, he'll cancel your comment because he wanted people to all have a chance. I guess it's a very strange thing. It's almost as bad as the whole
I'll open your product for you.
Yeah,
let's just say that you can definitely detect bots.
I'm sure there's ways to detect bots, but it's one of those situations where you'll probably also catch other people in the fire, realistically.
Somebody who's just got fiber that lives close,
or just somebody that happens to time it correctly.
Well,
now, granted, I'm sure that it's still better than not having anything.
They would have to IP spoof 100,000 or however many connections that they're making.
I'm sure there's ways to force the people joining the queue to do some kind of task some kind of task or verification that a bot couldn't do.
How about reCAPTCHA? That's already technology that exists.
Yeah, but bots can do that.
Ooh, Final Chicken, that's an interesting one. Kingdom Hearts. I don't know. Since it's got so many Disney characters in it, I think that would be a really hard crossover. If anything, that might be more of a Lorcana kind of action. And honestly, Lorcana is, for the most part, very Kingdom Hearts-esque with such a hodgepodge of different characters.
I'm surprised it hasn't already happened.
I gotta say, I love Final Chicken's thumbnail there.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
Icon. That's pretty dope.
Oh, it's an actual chicken
with a crown. There's lots of crossover IPs I would love to see. We should probably have a show on that and have the audience tell us.
Not sure we can each
give our what would their ideal crossovers be. Mine personally would be the Secret of Nim.
Oh, the animated
Nim?
Yes.
NIMH.
NIMH.
Yeah.
Dude, that was
Secret of Mana.
You what?
I've heard of Secret of Mana. I've never heard of Secret of Nim.
Wow, okay. I'd also like to see a crossover, probably more I think it's only got enough for maybe a Secret Lair, and that would be that the animated movie 9.
Oh yeah, it was Tim Burton, right?
I don't know who did it, but it feels very Tim Burton. That's Nicodemus. That's what I name all my characters, the wise old rat with the glowy eyes.
Oh no shit.
Frisbee. Yeah, I even use him as a logo. I cut that art out and I use that at least for years and years on Discord. Was that
and this was like the pinnacle of animation at the time. All hand drawn stuff, phenomenally well animated. Yeah, really classic stuff. Old school Disney.
I don't. Was that
for
Disney?
me,
I don't think it was Disney.
No,
I don't think so. It was a different company. I thought that was the buzz, that it was like Disney quality, but not Disney. And
no, you're totally right. Yeah.
Was it like an Australian company? Maybe. I can't
MGM.
remember. Was it MGM? Okay.
Yeah, MGM.
But it was basically supposed to be a competitor. From the 70s were huge for Disney, and much bigger than you would expect. Like it, much more part of Americana back then. And The Secret of NIMH was kind of, I guess you could say, controversial, revolutionary, because Disney 100% owned basically all animated stuff for kids.
What up, Hugh? For me though, Bob, rounding back again, I would say honestly, and I've been championing this idea for years. Freaking just give me some Mortal Kombat. Honestly, I think that would be a great crossover IP. There's so many little throwbacks you could do as well. Raiden's hat, Scorpions, kunai or whatever. Like there could be.
There has to be a black card called Finish Him.
Like that kind of stuff, like a fatality series or something. And like all sorts of fun things that they could do with it. And I think that would be,
so long as they get graphic. Like if they do more,
they gotta push that line. They gotta make that like the R-rated version.
Hell yeah.
18.
I'll be down for that. What about you, Matt? Is there any IPs you'd like to see crossed over? Do you have any favorite IPs besides D&D? Because we've already been.
Exile would be kind of good, but I don't know if that really.
Path of Exile. Do they have a lot of lore in Path of Exile? Really?
Yeah, they have enough lore to make a set. I mean, they have the own sort of TCG.
What's up, Coach? Better late than never. But we're about to switch over to the.
What about One Punch Man or something like that? Free run
or my box opening.
Kenshin would be kind of cool. I like Rurouni Kenshin as
Gears of War. That could be good. That could be very good. Gears of War.
Gears
IP.
And
I mean Diablo at one point was cool.
Yeah, it was. You're right. At one point, Diablo was.
Diablo
cool.
2 was fantastic. Diablo 3 was pretty decent. Diablo 4.
Actually, Diablo 3 had the highest sales.
I don't think it's a bad game. I just think that they kind of let it die. They just stopped innovating.
That auction house was a great idea because there were people making money off of playing video games.
I was making money off of it. I made like $200 off that bad boy.
Yeah, the big mistake was them not fixing the auction hall, but just getting rid of it. The Real Money Auction Hall.
Yeah,
that was a mistake.
Honestly, have a way to continually take money from players. Star Citizen's not even a fucking game, and they made like $1 billion already. Like, you don't have to.
From what I remember, something about people were using it to launder money, which was the problem.
That's what I'm saying.
The auction house.
You don't get rid of it. You fix it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you make them, do other things if they want to be part of that. Well, they've got to provide, I don't know, bank statements, or you have to get approval through your bank or some other thing, right?
Yeah, do the bullshit that PayPal makes me do. Like, jumping through those hoops. Like, you
can launder money in a billion ways.
Yeah.
Did anybody open Final Fantasy Collector's Pack? Get anything spicy? If so,
I have not opened any collector packs, and I am doubtful that we will.
I have 4 of them.
They keep disappearing.
I have 4 of them. And they're going. I have 4 of them. I bought them for like $60 a piece. I don't know. It's hard. It's a hard thing to open. It's one of those things where it's lottery hunting.
100%.
Like I can hold them to them and just sell them as individual packs for more like profit, or I can open them and almost guarantee lose my money. And I got to tell you, I'm used to losing money by playing gotcha games. I spend hundreds to get nothing all the time.
I can just buy stash tabs.
I should be used to this. But I don't know. It feels like a harder pill to swallow. I'm definitely opening. The idea was about 4 of them because like loose packs are not really something that interests me. I like sealed product typically.
It'll
be harder to sell loose packs
if we open a collector box.
I mean, so I'm just putting it out there. Just me. I would be fine if Matt, when you do your play booster box, that you can open 1 collector pack to add into it, because that's just expensive as shit.
That's funny.
Yes.
I can get a serialized chocobo for my budget cut. Well,
yeah, right.
So I
put a neon ink in there because I had it, and I just riffle shuffled like Nate because it's cool.
I don't even sleeve my deck. No, I always have to sleeve.
And honestly, yeah, World of Warcraft would be an interesting little crossover as well.
I did think about World of Warcraft because I played thousands of hours of World of Warcraft. I do love it. I don't love it anymore, but it's one of those things where the kind of Blizzard likes to ruin things as time goes on.
Yeah.
I mean, Diablo 2 is like on. I don't know what I don't want. It's just not. They announced there's like a new season reset. It's coming, and I looked. I'm like, there's seriously no changes. Like it's so easy. It is so easy to make just the smallest of changes, anything, but they're doing nothing. Zero. Nada.
Yo, shout out to Charles. First is the Trump is your daddy, and I was just thinking, like, man, I'd prefer if you were my dad to my real one. And then
he's rich, so
then your daddy Trump doesn't love you anymore. It's like, oh, just like my real one.
So nothing changed except for he's rich.
Just comes back. Yeah, it's like, yeah, but I could write a book. No one gives a shit about a biop on my dad.
I mean, realistically, as diverse, what was the word? As controversial as Trump is, I would take my dad any day over him, obviously, but it would be kind of cool to have a president as a dad. Like, there's got to be a lot of cool perks.
Oh, dude, 100%.
Even if he is Trump. I don't know. I definitely wouldn't trade my dad for Trump, but in an alternate universe, it would be an interesting experience.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like either way, you're going to like universities that have like your family name on the end of it somewhere. Like, oh, I'm gonna go to the wing over here. That's my name. Yeah, there'd be all sorts of fun little stuff. I tried to get into WoW, but I can never get into it. Was way more of a Final Fantasy 14 players. So many hours played. Love it. I know a couple of people that are really into Final Fantasy. Actually, I want to say. Not Time Capsule, one of our other channel members here, they've Benson does some old school, I want to say it's Final Fantasy, but like I don't know,
he does 11
Dreamcast or something.
No, he does Final Fantasy 11.
Final Fantasy on Dreamcast hooked up to his 56K modem? No way.
It looks so old though. Like okay, this is why it's from 2002. I wasn't just being a dick. Okay,
it's just an old game.
I mean, yo, shout out, whatever. But
the people that did the Path of Diablo or Project Diablo, the people that did the Project Diablo mod for Diablo 2, they managed to make the game not hurt my eyes when I play it, even though it is still the older graphics. They did some upscaling and some manipulation of the resolution to make it not feel so bad, and it was fun. I had a good time playing.
It does feel scratchy looking at it for too long. Yeah.
Well, not with the mod. The mod makes it very smooth. Like it upscales it in ways that
I just meant like old school. Me being like up in my room, when I was a teenager playing D2.
Oh.
Well, I think that's about it, folks. It's time for us to cut over to the members only. If you want to be part of that, and watch the box break and watch me struggle to build a Commander Raids deck. That's coming up right here in the next couple minutes, and 99 cents will get you there.
Hello from Iceland. Hello from Ohio, United States.
Yeah.
Iceland is definitely one of the places that I would like to visit.
I heard it's really green there. It's ironic as shit.
Yeah, here, Iceland's green, Greenland's ice.
Yeah, well, you know how white people are.
Whoa. Not sure where that one came from, but okay.
I was watching a video of this woman. She was going absolutely bonkers because she was being pulled over for speeding, but she parked her car prior to the cop turning his lights on, so she thought that she was safe. She's like, "You pulled me over. I've been stopped. You didn't turn your lights on until after I stopped." And then she was just screaming. It was insane the whole time. And she kept she kept saying that the cops have white privilege. She was white. It didn't make any sense at all.
It's like, okay, yes, they also have white privilege, but that only helps them when they're like shopping or looking for a loan or something. Like, this is just regular police enforcement, lady.
I was just like, yeah, but you're white too. Like, white privilege if they've got it.
Racist. You know what it is?
No.
Okay.
Lies. It's lies. What's not lies is I'm going to open this bad boy here, and I'm itching to do it, so I'm itching to end this show. We're 2 minutes over, folks. You're getting bonus content right now. We need to stop that nonsense and get to cracking. 99 cents. Make sure you do it. If you don't, at least show up here next week again. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for us. Hit the thumbs up if you liked it. Hit the thumbs down if you didn't. And leave some comments, for God's sake. It helps us out. So share the love, share the channel, and have fun. Mosh pit.
Yeah, I respond to just about every comment.
I respond, just not publicly.
I respond, but it's mostly just like shock and awe by myself in my apartment. Ah! And then we dance as the stream ends. Bye, y'all.